All right, so we decided to cut this into parts. So now we're talking about the PlayStation conference, the Sony conference. Taylor, we would say you are the more Sony, the resident Sony player or expert. You've had the PS4 the longest. So, what do you expect from Sony this year? Or what's your first point? Sorry.
My first point here I'd say is the last E3 and especially during last holiday season, PlayStation really went into the VR and what kind of games they were coming out with it, and they released a bunch of, as I said, games the holiday season. And after that, it got really quiet. So, at this point, I'm hoping, since I bought into that bit of hardware, I'm hoping that doesn't mean that it's going the way of the Kinect and will slowly die a quiet, sad death. And that means that this E3 they're going to be coming out with more VR games. Yeah. Again, doesn't have to be. I think I heard rumors about a Fallout VR.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
So, I don't know that it means it's an integration with Fallout 4, which I'd say is probably easier to do because it's just running Fallout 4, but different camera setup.
Did they ever release the Star Wars VR game? The Star Wars Battlefront VR where you were flying in like the X-Wing and everything?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we'll probably see a little bit on
that again. Yeah.
I have VR games on here as well. Just talk about VR games, like mention VR. I heard Rick and Morty VR was pretty good.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all, I guess the thing we can all go into with PSVR. The one major thing that Sony has with that hardware is it's the cheapest on the market right now.
Yeah.
And the most accessible to like the casual market
as
far as VR goes. So I kind of find it odd that they kind of again just kind of stopped talking about it after the holidays.
Yeah. I think, they probably tested it, and then we're like, okay, did it succeed? Which, apparently it did. So, now they're probably going to put a little bit more focus on it, And, sorry, Rick and Morty VR did come out on PS4, right? Or was that a...
Yeah. That's the thing about most VR games right now. They, if they come out, like, on the Vive or the Oculus, eventually they can find their way to PSVR just because... It's not like it's instead of doing it like with consoles where they have to make different versions. Basically, the same game just running on a different output.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think the PSVR is the most like affordable and accessible one because it's cheaper than trying to buy an Oculus or all that nonsense. But yeah, I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they show more games because like last year, like when they showed Batman and stuff, like that was awesome.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars stuff, but you're right. Like once it was holidays, it just his like, flatlined almost. But I also hear it's the most comfortable like one to wear because you're gonna be wearing it for like an extended period. And
really?
I think that's what IGN UK had said when they were wearing it. It's like the most comfortable headset and everything to wear.
That's a good thing.
Because they're like, you don't think about it until you're wearing it and you're like, wow, this is squeezing my head. And
well, one more thing before we move on. If they do, like, reveal more stuff of what they've been working on with the PSVR, what I'm really, really hoping is that if not a new controller, they find a way to greatly improve on the Move controllers, because at this point in time, it kind of feels like that's the one, or at least from my opinion, using the PlayStation VR, that's what's been holding back the whole VR experience when you're trying to point at something and your hands like decide to orbit past your face.
It's not quite there yet.
Oh, okay. So Yeah, I mean, I haven't used any sort of VR anything, so you would know that better.
Well, again, it's kind of weird, like going from like kind of weird to go this far back, but like the Wii with its hiccups with motion controls, and then they kind of ironed that out with the Wii Motion Plus,
Right.
and then
Yeah, exactly.
now they're using like the gyroscope on the Wii U and Switch.
On the what?
The gyroscope.
You said on the what? I was gonna explain to you what gyroscope was, and then no, I gotcha.
Right, meant the Wii U. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
It was a good little
It was okay. It was fine.
Rest in peace. Okay, so
But yeah, if please Sony find some way to improve your controllers, or at least the input for the VR, and I think that'll be a great way to not only sell it, but to keep more people, at least me, and people who have it involved.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to be the VR expert, so at least out of us, So, all right. Do you want to go you next or me
Sure.
next?
My thing, I guess, is the new God of War that they showed last time. I think they're gonna kind of hammer out exact details, or they need to, because it's starting to get to that crunch point where the hype is building and it's never gonna live up.
Right.
So I think we'll see more of that and some gameplay of that, and
yeah, absolutely.
Probably a release date.
Yes, I'm hoping a release date
or like a window of some sort. Yeah, like if it's 2018 or I don't know if it's 2017. I feel like it's
they usually
not.
tell I would say the quarter, but like the summer, spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think God of War is a given. It's one of Sony's big franchises. I've never really been into it. We have a mutual friend who was into it, and he seemed to enjoy it. But...
Well, I've seen more of that. They were talking about how it's more story driven than like a beat 'em up, because like the time they were kind of losing fans, I guess in other countries that like, because they said like Dark Souls and kind of games like that with no story don't do well in like Europe, I guess.
Oh, what?
I don't know. This was just something I was reading on Reddit, and they were saying like that's why specifically they made this one a lot more story driven with a great narrative and stuff, so it doesn't have to rely solely on the mechanics of the game.
Yeah, and I like that they're mixing it up and everything. So yeah, and it looked pretty awesome. I know nothing about God of War.
It looked smooth when they showed it last time.
Yeah. Taylor, do you have anything to say about God of War?
Basically, I think that's what I'm going to think, that a bunch of the games like God of War, so like they showed last show, they're going to get a lot of more details ironed out, if at most, because, again, like you said, there's not much to talk about this E3 besides those games we talked about last year.
Exactly.
They're coming out soon.
Right, yeah. They're going to come out, we swear. We swear they're coming out.
We know we announced a bunch of games that are coming out in 3 years, but they're on their way.
Right.
Sony has been killing it with
get up and say, Yeah.
But
I mean, and they've released like a lot of exclusive games like Neo and
Horizon
Zero Dawn. The other one, Yakuza 0.
Oh yeah.
And so they've been doing well with their exclusives.
But yeah, they have for sure. Speaking of exclusives. Alright, are you done with your point?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, well, this comes out at the end of June. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. They're gonna show something on it. They're just gonna be like, hey, this is coming out. You all know it's coming out.
Yeah.
It's on its way. But I think it might be too early for anything like this. But what I would love for them to say is, hey, we've seen such interest in this that, they just announced we are creating an original Crash Bandicoot game on this engine, some sort of thing. Or, which I'm not gonna lie, I saw this on the Kind of Funny thing. They go ahead and announce Spyro Trilogy Remastered.
Yeah,
which, that is Activision as well. So, if probably not this E3, but I think in a year or two we will see a Spyro thing, because I mean they have Skylanders, but
Yeah.
you know they want to get they want to get they have this property, might as well just if Crash does well, just do it again with Spyro, so that's how I feel about it. But
you like a new Spyro or like remastered
Spyro, but I think with Crash Bandicoot right now they're testing Crash Bandicoot, and it's too early because the game isn't out yet. But I think at some point,
how much the fans really want another one.
But I think at some point they're gonna go, hey, we're making Crash 4, even though there was Crash 4, but it wasn't made by. This isn't made by Naughty Dog either, but they're gonna name it that. But I don't think that's this year. But they're gonna talk about Crash Insane Trilogy for sure. They're just gonna say, hey, by the way, like 2 weeks this is out. So, all right, Taylor.
All right. Other thing on my list. The, of course, new Spider-Man game.
That's the next on my list.
That was top on my list. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's since that was the big button, or at least one of a lot of people's, highly expected or enjoyed thing of last E3.
Yeah.
I would say now is a good time to start laying out. I hope at this point they could show a little bit of gameplay, because that's what also is gonna probably sell a lot of people. It's gonna if it's gonna be like the old Spider-Man 2's, the open world. Is it gonna be just? Well, that's what I'd hope at this point. I don't think the industry's entirely fed up with open world games, but it's getting there. But I don't really see how a Spider-Man game can be anything but a big open sandbox for you to swing around in.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think that's what will help play, because you're right, open world games are kind of getting a little stale for everyone, but I think since it's been a while since a good Spider-Man game was around, because it's just fun just to swing around New York and stuff.
I'd say the last good Spider-Man game that would probably be Ultimate Spider-Man, which was on GameCube and PS2 and Xbox. Because I can't think of another Spider-Man game that's
I played Spider-Man 2 and 3 on the PS2, or the one was on 360, I think, but
I heard 3 wasn't that great.
3 wasn't as good. Yeah. Because 2 was the first one that did open world. That was just such a... When you're you could land... Your webs were actually attaching to things, not like the sky.
Oh, not like the PS1 Spider-Man. Yeah.
And you landed on the ground and you could beat people up and stuff. So. But I'm excited for any new Spider-Man. I think
I think Spider-Man needs the Batman Arkham treatment and get, some sort of series going on. Hopefully this first game's good, because that will be the decider of if they make more. So.
Plus with the movie coming out soon.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing I was wondering, if when they show out details, is it gonna be showing that it's kind of a movie tie-in, kind of not direct. That'd be kind of weird for an E3 to show our new movie tie-in. We know you've been waiting for those.
It'll probably be loosely tied to the movie. But.
Movie tie-in games, they're not as common anymore, I'd say. In terms of, new
good
releases of... they did the Friday the 13th game, but those movies came out.
Well, that was
recently,
that was also crowdfunded.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not really much... I think major corporations kind of finally realized, unless you're, just doing it for the money, no one really wants to see your scraps.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so Michael, your next point.
They show again. This is another last year thing, but that Kojima Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
Zombie,
babies,
whatever that is.
Babies on the beach.
The guy from Walking Dead,
Norman Reedus.
Right. So
I
think they're gonna hammer out some specifics. It's I feel like I'm just repeating the same stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's not go too. Let's not.
Maybe they'll explain what the game actually is.
Maybe just maybe
People are excited about it, but
I'd say maybe they show a little bit more like about again like what type of actual video game it is.
yeah. What will you be doing in
Like,
the game?
I hope it's just a Metal Gear reskin. Except you're Norman Reedus.
Use small children.
Metal Gear 5, but like in a darker filter.
Yeah.
Use babies to distract enemies.
Correct.
Use
I'm a
baby sidekick instead of the dog.
I'm a fan of this idea.
Use sea creatures as rash.
Yeah.
Just pick up a squid from the.
Yeah, from the ground or whatever. Yeah.
It's Snake Eater. It's Snake Eater all over again.
You know, I saw this was on Facebook and it was like just a picture or something, but someone mentioned Metal Gear remaster, Metal Gear Solid 3 remaster. I don't know if that's a thing. It's Konami, so you know, Konami is everyone's favorite company right now.
Well, the thing is, I can maybe see
Just
why people would
releasing their stuff.
Well, why people would think that, because if I remember correctly, they did release again a Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine, and in that they have actual like redone cutscenes from Snake Eater in the like Fox. I can't remember the exact name.
Foxhound.
Yeah, in the Foxhound engine.
Yeah.
But the thing with that was it was on the pachinko machine, so again it was kind of more aggravating to people who were like, why don't you make it? Why did you remake Metal Gear 3 instead of putting it on a pachinko machine?
Yeah.
So
they might just say, oh, hey, here you go.
Well, yeah, if they're trying to save face at this point, that'd be the smart thing to do. By the way, yeah, that was for a remake. We just decided to make a little money on the side.
Which, this isn't on my list, but there's also that Metal Gear game they announced that everyone went, about. Like, I know nothing. I just saw the trailer.
Survivor.
Is that what it was? Yeah. But it has, like, nothing to do with Snake or anything like that. It's just like a
It's like a
shooter.
standalone.
It's Left 4 Dead, the Metal Gear.
That's right.
It's Left 4 Dead, the Metal Gear. Gotcha.
So, there you go. But yeah, I have nothing really to say about it. But yeah, I'd just like to see something with Death Stranding. Just
something
what
something more concrete than
Norman Reedus on a beach.
Artistic trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my prediction for that. Hideo Kojima is going to come out on the stage, give a release date, and then walk backstage.
And everyone will say, what a genius.
Yeah.
That guy is, what a great man.
Not to say that he's not a great
man. No, I know.
It's just,
that's about all he would need to do.
The Kojima hype is real at this point.
Yeah. He stood up to a corporation.
Well, he did. The man was nearly under, I wouldn't say house arrest, but they kind of almost nearly did.
Treat him
creativity arrest.
Yeah. No, a lot of people are fans of Kojima. I still need to play any of the Metal Gear games, so, I can't say he's a genius without playing any of this game.
But it was on your top 10 intros.
Yes, it was. And Snake was my main in Brawl.
Unbelievable.
I haven't played any of his games. Or played like 2 minutes, but
well,
maybe one day that'll be a video review. I hope to one day do that, maybe.
Hey, as long as you said, if he's in the top 10 intros, that must mean you like him as a cinematographer. So you probably made him a very, very happy man by saying that.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, so what I have on here is Last of Us 2. I know it was just announced, but I feel like they might just show a little snippet, some little cutscene. Maybe not gameplay, but just hey.
Just a
you
reminder.
like Last of Us?
Yeah.
Here it is again.
Remember how good that game was?
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Which I have Last of Us and haven't played that either. So there's that.
At some point I'm just gonna sit you down and just like make you remember you have a PlayStation 3.
Did you play Last of Us?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Was it good?
I highly enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'll get to that at some point. No.
I'll make sure.
No, okay.
Just watch VGSquirrel fans like the file you.
Yeah.
sent me.
Unbelievable. He has all those games he hasn't even played.
I got it for like $2.
Not the point.
I was gonna pick it up.
You need to play some of the
Game
games
Chasers
you
will
pick up.
appreciate it.
No, shout out to Game Chasers. Anyway, sorry.
But you,
Yes, I need to play the Uncharted games. I need to play those. I need to play Jack 2 and 3.
Speaking of Uncharted.
Oh, yeah.
Just a small. I guess there's. Like
There's a spin-off, or it's a DLC.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I didn't know if it was like the Metal Gear, like where it's like kind of a weird side project, or if it is like actual.
I heard it's
Uncharted
DLC
4
to 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's
but,
they're
but
gonna
it's
do
like
something
with the female character. I
Right,
don't know
right.
her name because I haven't played Uncharted. I am very well versed in Sony knowledge, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor. Next point.
okay. The one that I was hadn't heard until recently, but that I haven't kind of got me excited. Apparently, Sucker Punch is going to be making a new game. Not sure if it's related to its Infamous series,
Infamous, yeah.
which I would hope for. I really enjoyed those games, especially the whole, bunch of mix and match superhero powers and all that. And the universe, as far as I've gotten into, is pretty unique with basically it's if Sucker Punch had a cinematic universe, I would watch the hell out of that at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if with them making a new game, I'm hoping for a new Infamous, but I'm also would be excited for a new IP.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard the Infamous games are great, so I'm sure whatever Sucker Punch makes will be good. No, I haven't played it for this.
I know that's kind of
That's
a
gonna be
running trend.
it's gonna be a running trend of this video. Sorry guys, I jumped on the PS3 after like the Xbox One came out probably,
Yeah.
and then I don't have a PS4, so sorry.
You get cracked.
And then the PS2 was my brother's system. The PS1 is the one I know the most out of the Sony systems.
You saw me buy a PSP last week.
Yeah, I did.
I'm now playing through the old games I had on there, but
No,
running through Harvest Moon on the PSP. I think you think it's okay to stop a little while on your backlog and actually,
Yeah,
Get
no,
through
I gotta go through them, but like,
Backlog.
it's just, I don't know, it's just never on the top of my list, and that's why I don't really
You almost
get
need
to
to
'em.
make a list.
Yeah,
To get
honestly,
through 'em.
yeah, pretty much.
Hey, this is VGSquirrel with top 10 games I might play.
Yeah.
I might play next. Any Resident Evil, throw that in there. Anyway, so Infamous. Now, what's your next point?
I want to see something about Bloodborne 2.
True. Yes, I've heard great things about Bloodborne.
Really? Huh.
I don't have it.
Oh.
It was Bloodborne PS4 or PS3?
Or
Yeah, okay. So definitely have not played Bloodborne. Definitely had no chance to play Bloodborne.
It's been a while, so
Yeah,
it's time.
that seems to be a rumor buzzing around.
It's time for them to start their 3-year process of releasing information for the game at E3s.
Hey, yeah.
well, then it's since now that's From Software's done with the Souls games,
Yeah.
or they gotta have to either start a new series or make more Bloodborns.
Or Demon Souls.
No.
Yes, let's
Let's go back to.
let's go back in time.
Let's go backwards. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah.
what.
Pull a George Lucas, but with
Exactly.
giant people
Prequels.
Yeah.
or giant. Yeah. I know where I was going with that, but yeah. More Souls games or Souls-esque games are probably in the future From.
Yeah.
But
I
depends
think
on the series.
Bloodborne did well enough for them to be like, let's just
Yeah.
make another one.
I heard a lot of good things about Bloodborne, and a lot of people seem to review it favorably, so I expect another Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Alright, next on my list.
I'm out of stuff.
Taylor, I put this on the list specifically for you. Detroit, which is the
Emotions.
is it David Cage? Is that his name?
Indeed.
Yeah.
The master of cinematography.
So
the master of dreams.
he's the one who did Indigo Prophecy, and what was the Heavy Rain, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Which again is, I've only played Heavy Rain,
Mm.
which was.
I thought you played Indigo Prophecy. Didn't we play it at my house?
I've played a part of it.
Okay.
I've basically seen all of it through Let's Plays,
Gotcha.
so I know the juicy details of
Mm.
where the plot goes. Again, I guess to throw in my opinion on this. This looks promising, as most David Cage games do in their first iteration.
Mm.
The problem with the games, though, is usually after like the 1 hour mark, which was basically all you saw in the press releases, because that was all that was the highly polished stuff for the press. After that, now if this is kind of like Heavy Rain, which was basically, I'm sure Sony had a very large, input on what went into like how the game was going to play and stuff, because it was kind of like a PS3. I don't think it was what's the words? Came out right when the PS. I don't think it came out right when the PS3
was ending.
No, was
a launch title.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
forgot that. I don't think it was a launch title, but I think it came around that point, because it was one of those games that was trying to take advantage of the whole 6-axis motion thing.
Yeah, and that I feel like that kind of fell off, right? 6-axis.
Yeah.
So.
But my whole point is that the kind of thing I think saved that game, in my opinion, was that it was under high scrutiny from Sony to be a semi-normal game, because Indigo and Beyond Two Souls, as usual with David Cage, tried to do a bunch of things in both creatively and mechanically, and he really doesn't. It's kind of like a George Lucas kind of thing. He needs someone to tell him, "No, that's stupid. Move on."
Bad idea.
So, yeah, I really didn't have much to say about Detroit, but I saw people talking about it. And I was like, oh, Taylor probably knows a good amount on it. So, Taylor, what is your next talking point?
I guess I might as well go with it. I'm hoping that since the Scorpio's coming out in this show, they're also going to have to basically find a way to like start selling the PS4 Pro, which a lot of people have predicted is going to mean a nice price drop. If not, I wouldn't say it's not going to be like your Switch prices, but it's going to be like...
What's it priced at right now?
It's 400, right?
Yeah,
400 for 1 terabyte.
So what? Maybe 350.
Yeah, it'd be generous if they put out to 300. So yeah, 350 is
touchable.
Yeah,
because right now the PS4 Slim, like, it goes anywhere between like 300 and 250.
Oh, okay.
So I getting to 300 would be rough. There'd be no point of buying the other one, which is what they want. But
yeah.
And the other way I'd say to try to sell it is do something. If not, it might. Though this might eventually lead to more anger than helping them sell, is have access to older games through some kind of service.
Yeah.
Because I know they have PlayStation Now, PlayStation Now. I believe it's basically their streaming service for games. However, it's tying that into like maybe giving a little bit of free with, purchase of a PlayStation 4 Pro or something like that would go towards helping sell some, I'd say, because again, as I've been harping back on, Sony has a great backlog of PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
That at this point people have to rebuy through the PlayStation Store, and
right.
Well, it's not, that's what the virtual console is on Nintendo.
Right.
I think people are much more happier to play, or you pay like $5 for Balloon Fight.
Yeah.
Versus, I think usually then like $10 Sony usually wants to charge for like
a PS1 game.
Yeah.
But PS1 is like the same generation as N64. N64 games are usually $10, but it's just because Nintendo's been around longer in terms of games. You know.
Yeah.
They can price their first games, you know, that cheap. But so was that everything you had to say about that point?
Yep.
It's safe to say we're not expecting a new PlayStation reveal console or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, you know, Sony does like to do the 3 years out thing, so they might say,
right,
PS5, it's coming. Like, just that, you know, just which it honestly wouldn't be a bad idea with Scorpio.
As an attempt to try to keep up.
Yeah,
right?
just so people go, oh, well, Scorpio, that's coming out this year, but everyone's buzzing about the PS5.
Right, kind of take some hype from them.
You know, now...
Well, with the, like we've been saying, the way consoles are going, it might not be a PS5. It might be PlayStation Professional. Or
right.
PS4 Pro Plus.
PS4.
PlayStation Scorpio.
PS4.
PlayStation Scorpio.
Yeah.
Now we know we gotta keep going with constellations.
Yeah.
PS4 Sagittarius.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. So, Michael, what's your next... or are you good, Taylor?
Yep.
Alright. So, Michael, what's your next PlayStation point? If you have one.
I mean, I don't have... I have some weird things that don't really fit in, but this one, I bought a PS4 exclusively to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right.
Because that was the game I was looking forward to. And finally what made me buy a PS4, and I loved it. So I would love to see like a DLC or just something small, like, hey, we're gonna put something more into this game, because I know a lot of people, like, because they loved it so much, just blew through it. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do, but so that's just something little personally that I would like, hey, we didn't forget about it, like, we know it did well. But yeah, I mean, that's just something I want, like, where they're like, hey, like, we're gonna release some DLC soon. Yeah. Look out for that. No, like, that's about all I need.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't need gameplay or, some ridiculous story thing. I just want them to be like, yeah, we worked on it. It's coming out.
I know critically that game did really well. I don't know about sales. I assume it did
pretty well.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So that might be the other, like, small thing to put in. Again, since, as we said, a lot of the games they're going to be talking about are coming up. They are going to have to, of course, throw a little bit of tidbits of, oh yeah, there's DLC coming out for the games that you liked. So if I had to guess which games are getting it, it's probably going to be Horizon Zero Dawn.
Uncharted.
Yeah, maybe Uncharted. Probably not Destiny, because Destiny 2 is coming out.
Right.
There's no point. Trying to think of any more PlayStation titles that could receive DLC.
Like Neo, that still came out pretty recently, I guess.
Oh yeah, that game. Yeah,
but that game did well. Like, surprisingly well.
Yeah. Because it was like Dark Souls-esque, right?
Yeah. It was like Witchery, Dark Souls. Yeah. It was like all that mixed into one.
Yeah. Alright, so is that the end of that point?
Yep.
For me.
Okay, the next thing I have on here is Red Dead Redemption 2, but we kind of covered that in the Microsoft one.
Someone will be showing it. Yeah. It will be something about it will be mentioned.
Yeah. There'll at least be a mention of that game.
That is just going off of something I heard from someone online. It's highly likely, since I think Sony has like a first online content deal with Rockstar, that it's highly likely Red Dead will show up on Sony. But don't be surprised if they do, like, they show it first at Sony and then come out on, or that's first on Microsoft.
Yeah.
Come off. Yeah. More stuff with Sony.
Yeah.
Show more, like an actual trailer with Sony.
Yeah, it's a huge name, so I expect it to show up at other conferences, but Since that, kind of was
Right,
the
covers
small
itself.
point. Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
I know the first one had some issues.
It had a lot of the problems like Destiny had, where it released like a game knowing it was going to release the rest of the game to you in DLC packs.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, they've already said like there is going to be a campaign this time, and like it's going to be more. It's going to be closer to the Battlefront 2, I think, or like
the old
one,
the PS2 ones.
Yeah.
Or you played on 360,
Battlefront 2
right?
is the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about Battlefront 2? I honestly just wrote that down just because I heard
that
about
Battlefront looks good though. Like
Yeah,
it is a good looking game, but yeah, it's just the
not too much
money
substance.
grabber. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing with most DICE games. They look and sound great, and then they kind of have to iron out the actual game.
Similar to the Ubisoft approach, like, oh, that sounds great. It will die immediately. No server,
All right, Taylor, do you have any more points?
That should be it on Battlefront.
Or do you have any more points for Sony?
Yeah, no, none that I can really think of.
Like I said, I have this weird like Bethesda category.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah, we can put that in here.
Okay. So like, I like a Wolfenstein, a new one of those.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been like what, 2 years maybe?
I think so, because they released the old Blood DLC for it that did well.
Okay.
That was a great game, really good story. So I think people would be excited about another one of those.
Mhm.
And then the other Bethesda thing I have is like they've been talking about doing like a sci-fi, like
sort of,
or there's like a
like
rumored science fiction RPG like in the works for a few years.
Okay.
So like if there was any evidence of that, like that's sort of just more rumor,
So like
Hail Mary talk.
So more of like a Fallout Skyrim, but in a sci-fi setting.
Right?
type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
Like Elder Scrolls in space is what people refer to it. Like
Elder
something
Scrolls
like
with
that.
guns.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So like I think that would be exciting
That'd be
because
cool.
they're gonna probably talk about Morrowind, even though that like just came out for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. One funny thing I heard is like people talking about like how they usually have like a montage of games like that have come out and everything.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is not gonna be anywhere near anything. Is what I was hearing.
That poor game.
It was like an independent company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was just that
I mean,
Sony
now
kind of
the-
pushed it really harder than it really is possible to fulfill.
Right. It had the Watch Dogs thing where like it looked so good, but that you just kept seeing it over and over and over until you were so hyped that it would never live up, regardless of how good it was.
What's the name of the Fable guy?
Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux did just, hey, expectations, and then reality, and it's like, oh.
It'd be more if Peter Molyneux did. It was Peter Molyneux, and then after Peter Molyneux took Peter Molyneux anymore, it then decided to just explode.
Yeah.
Like not even try to deliver, just
It just, yeah. That poor game. Eric bought a PS4 just for that game.
I know. Well, that's what I asked him because I was like, man, like now it's down to like $20-$30 like everywhere. Like you can find it really cheap. I was like, would it be worth it to buy it now? He goes, yeah, like cheaper. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine if you're not. It's not like your flagship game.
Yeah.
But he's like, but like pre-ordering it like a year in advance was not worth it.
I gotcha. Okay, so I guess everyone's out of points but me, right?
I think so.
So I have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's going to show up at the Sony conference, if anything. And I think for Kingdom Hearts, they haven't really... What did they have? They've shown like Big Hero 6 and Tangled. Is that still all they've shown?
Woo!
In terms of worlds?
That's the funny thing about Kingdom Hearts. I haven't really
Been keeping up?
I just know that 3's coming, and that's basically held my attention.
That's the extent of my knowledge.
So there's 2 or 3 different options I have for if they release Kingdom Hearts and want to have like a most hype trailer. They announced that they're doing some sort of Pixar thing, have Toy Story in there, because Toy Story still hasn't been in Kingdom Hearts, right? I don't know about all the handhelds and everything.
No, it's gonna be.
I have no idea.
That's gonna be Cars, man.
Cars. Yeah.
There's a new movie coming out.
So yeah. Ka-chow. So, yeah, I think either Toy Story World or they completely jump the shark. Marvel or Star Wars World in Kingdom Hearts.
Dope.
Disney owns them.
That'd be sick.
You know, Disney Infinity's no longer a thing. So.
What?
No, man. I'm.
Sorry. I thought you were serious. Okay. So what were you saying?
Well, I was gonna make a stupid joke about. Yeah, no, man. I need to fight the Heartless as a car.
That's cool. Yeah, I want Lightning McQueen to be like your partner guy, and he just legitimately just runs over people, or does the ka-chow and people just blow up. I'm about this.
But I'd be excited for Disney or more like
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah,
That'd
like
be sick.
a lightsaber keyblade.
Right.
There it is. Yeah. Or a spider web keyblade for
Look,
Marvel. No.
we're-
Or like
we're-
Thor's hammer. I don't know.
Because we're just.
Mjolnir.
Because hey,
Mjolnir, yeah.
this. Well, after that, I guess.
Did your work for you?
We can have
Kingdom Hearts.
I guess we can have. If that goes through, like might as well just start making super crossovers with all the Disney owned things.
Well, I mean, they own so much,
Yeah.
might as well. But
Well, it has to make
And
some
ESPN
kind of sense.
Kingdom Hearts.
wait,
ESPN World.
ESPN.
With the power of FIFA.
Yeah, right.
I'm about it. What was I gonna say? And then Final Fantasy VII, they should show something on it. I know they've actually shown gameplay within this past year, I'd say. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII, everyone's hyped about it that, would be. So, yeah. Talk more about that.
Yep.
Next, I heard they're not really going to talk, but maybe show some. I know it was a Kickstarter. Show some sort of snippet on Shenmue 3. And what a lot of people are saying, and yes, they should do this. Release Shenmue 1 and 2 HD, so people who want Shenmue 3, or people who are interested in Shenmue 3 but haven't played the first two,
Right.
have easy access to it instead of buying a Dreamcast and then buying an Xbox
Yeah.
in order to get the first two games.
PlayStation.
No, it was on Xbox.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It was on Dream. The first one was on Dreamcast.
The second one was on
I
Xbox.
Xbox.
That's
Yeah.
jeez.
I thought
Yeah.
talking about the third Shenmue
That's
3.
wild.
Yeah, so
Okay.
3's on PlayStation. Yeah, so
Shenmue.
so if you really want to
crossing
just
consoles.
Yeah.
Like
so-
the sands of time.
yeah, the
Jeez.
second one was originally on Dreamcast. It was on Dreamcast in Japan, but the Dreamcast was dead by the time they could have translated it, so
Over.
they put it on Xbox. So yeah, they said it. We're not gonna be there, but companies kind of have to say we're not gonna be there. Or else, like, yeah, we'll be there. We plan on showing our game during the Sony press
right,
conference.
exactly. Like when, it's
Yeah.
always interesting when like Far Cry 5 just got released like a few weeks ago. It's like why didn't you just wait to the conference so you would have a surprise?
Yeah.
But people don't want surprises until it gets to the conference. Like I already know all this is coming out. Like why don't you release something new? So
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of something new, we're going into Hail Mary territory. Let's go. I think it's time for him to come back. They recently redid his game in HD,
I hope
which
you don't say what I think you're gonna
which
say.
really didn't do much to the game because it's a super stylized game. Parappa the Rapper 3.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
make it happen. It's time. The only problem is it'll probably be a digital release because Parappa the Rapper games are really short.
Yeah.
And I don't see it, or a lower budget game, like release it for $30 or something. But I love the Parappa the Rapper games, mostly the first one. Second one's alright.
Yeah.
I love those games. I would love to see some sort of resurgence of Parappa the Rapper. But the fact that they did the HD re-release makes me say, hey, he's at least on their mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I would love that.
Like a new one, not like a collection.
No.
Yeah, a brand new.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they just re-released the first one.
Okay, yeah.
And now this is the biggest Hail Mary I have on my list.
Scorpio is for both it's a console for both.
not that big of a Hail Mary. I don't think I can top that now. But,
Sorry. You can cut that out.
No, you're good. No. Biggest Hail Mary, which I apparently found out I researched this a bit. They apparently this was going to be a game at some point, like, on PS3, but then things just fell out. But it's been, 17 years. Legend of Dragoon 2.
Oh.
Make it happen. It's a well-revered RPG. I know it was a greatest hits, so, it at least sold well. So, I think that,
sick.
that's one of those games that, I know my brother would probably buy a
Right.
PS4 for that game.
Instantly.
And, if they want to get more RPGs out there, I mean, I guess they have it covered with Square, but,
Oh, yeah, but again, it's, if at the least, like I keep saying, the least we could at least hope for is, a remaster
yeah.
of the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they released it on the store, but yeah, some sort of remaster or something. I would love to hear something about Legend of Dragoon 2. That's a game that I just don't understand why they didn't make more of them. So yeah, that's probably my biggest Hail Mary. So there's no backing behind that at all.
Right. No evidence whatsoever.
Yeah. But make it happen.
I have one like that, but it's not PlayStation related.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know where else to fit it in.
Okay, what is
Is
it?
it as a new Knights of the Old Republic
Oh,
game?
okay.
Because
Yeah.
no evidence
Yeah,
whatsoever. But those are always games that did so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
And then the Old
This would
Republic
be
was the
this would
thing.
be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with that is the weird thing was they kind of wiped those games off. Well, the canonicity of those games off the map with the Star Wars new cinematic universe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I don't know how they would then introduce.
Exactly. Try to introduce they'd have to start over or something.
or they could just say it's a side thing, alternative universe type
Yeah.
thing, not just not canon.
Right.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Which has there been a Force Unleashed game in a while?
That was
Yeah.
that was kind of connected what I had because they just made all those games with gold for Xbox One and backwards compatible, so that was where I was like, that's interesting
Yeah.
timing.
Okay. So maybe
Maybe some type of Star Wars game besides Battlefront.
Yeah. And VR.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what it is, but yeah.
We'll see. And yeah, I think everything else I have on this list we kind of touched on. Tease PlayStation 5 is what I have. Zombie games. There'll be some sort of zombie games somewhere.
I think
Zombie games. Also with the Z.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's how they ended their conference last year, right? Was that what's the name of that game? The
Dead Stranding?
No,
No.
it's
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's the
zombie game.
game.
Yeah.
The zombies are in a tidal wave and they're running from it and trying to running from the tidal wave of zombies.
Unfortunately, I just don't care.
Oh, right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't care about zombie games. I don't
Yeah.
Well, again, it just depends on
What
when.
was that game?
I can't remember the name.
Again, it was basically I don't think it was gameplay, so.
I thought it was.
I think it was gameplay. I remember shooting them on a bridge. I remember a bridge in a line.
I remember it going on for 5
Forever.
minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, and I was like, "Wait, that's the end?"
Yeah.
I'm sure. I know a lot of people are like, "Whoa!" But
Right.
I have so many zombie games I have to play that
Right.
more zombie games just doesn't.
For a zombie, if I want another Dying Light, because or a Dead Island basically, but with the parkour aspect of it and the building your own tools from scraps and stuff, because Dying Light, I really enjoyed that.
Okay. There was Dying Light, and then what was the? I know there was talks of maybe what was that game that was a horror movie, with the
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, yeah,
Yeah, they were. If they're gonna do more with that, I hope they will, because again, they've.
Was that one more of a murderer game, right? was
It's
it?
kind of a mix. It throws a lot of homages to a bunch of different horror genres.
Okay.
So it's not like just a slasher.
Mm.
But as
Okay.
I was saying, this Halloween, I think, if we're kind of weird, just view into the future, I don't think you and I need to sit down and do a bunch of horror games.
Yeah, I know I was talking about, I know Michael hates horror games, right? I want to do
Not a big fan of them.
I want to do Eternal Darkness, which I know it's an older game, but I hear that game is just, hey, you want to mess with your head all day. So, yeah, maybe we'll do some sort of horror games thing at some point. But yeah, that
Future.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I think that's it for Sony discussion, right?
That's all I've got.
So yeah, we'll see you next with Nintendo, which will probably is the one I look forward to the most, but that's just me. So, all right, guys, make Legend of Dragoon 2 happen. Yes. All right. See ya.
What you gonna do when they come? I gotta believe. What you gonna do when they come? I gotta believe. You gotta do what? You gotta do what? I gotta believe.
Hey, yo, everybody!